Hi folks, thanks for joining me for this video. This video is going to be in two parts. The first part, I'm just going to do a bit of a channel update, tell you things that have been going on and what I plan for the future. And then the second part, I'm going to do a section on brush cleaning, and I'm going to talk about the products that I use and the process that I go through when I'm cleaning my brushes. Okay, first things first. I just want to say thank you. Thank you to all you guys who are subscribing, the new subscribers. The channel's growing and it's allowing me to do more things with it. That in mind, you may have seen that I've changed the name of the channel. And there's a reason for that. It was David Barber's Still Life Oil Painting. It's now David Barber's Painting and Drawing. Okay, and obviously partly that's down to the fact that I'm now incorporating my weekly live drawing class in there, and I hope you're enjoying that. So when I'm doing that, I'm not able to kind of stop and change things if things are going wrong. It's live, it's a physical class. So there are going to be glitches in there. They're going to be, you don't know what's going to happen when you're in a live class. People dropping things and spilling water and all kinds of things going on. So, but I hope you're getting something from that content. And that's going to carry on, obviously, over the coming months. The second reason that I wanted to change the name is that I've been thinking for a while about how I can develop the channel. And of course, it's always been still life painting because I can manage that in my studio. But I also do plein air painting, and I deliver plein air courses. And I was thinking how I could incorporate that into the channel. Anyway, I think I've found a solution. So I've just bought a new camera. It's a 360-degree camera. So essentially what that will do, it's one camera, but it will record everything in 360 degrees and up and down, and what I can do when I'm editing, then I can select which portion of that field of vision I want to incorporate in my final video. So that means I can incorporate my panel, I can incorporate the subject, the scene, the palette, myself, the surroundings. You're also able to increase the angle of the lens, so I can have a very, very focused viewpoint, or I can open that out. Anyway, that camera arrives tomorrow, so later this week I'm hoping to do some sort of trial runs with it, and I'll probably do that in my garden, just to sort out the logistics of how it's going to work. But that's coming, okay? There's going to be plein air paintings, so if that's something you're interested in, that will be coming to the channel soon. One of the reasons I wanted to sort this out now is that in a couple of weeks' time I go to France for 3 weeks, and I obviously won't be able to record any still life painting. But when I'm abroad, I always take my paints and I do a lot of plein air painting. So there'll be plenty of content that I will be able to share on my return. Okay, so that's that. So thank you for your support. That was the first thing I wanted to say. The channel's growing, and I'm hopefully taking it into a new direction with the plein air painting alongside the still life. I'm not going to be ditching that in any way, shape or form. And of course over winter that'll be something that sort of takes priority, and I'm incorporating the drawing classes. So I hope you're enjoying the content. Any feedback, of course, is always welcome. So now I'm going to talk about brush cleaning, and I'll go through the process that I always follow after I've done a painting session. Okay, thank you very much. It goes without saying that looking after brushes is a really important part of your practice. They're expensive, so get them to last as long as possible. Having said that, I always keep brushes, even if they're at the end of their life and they're ruined. I will keep them just because they could create interesting marks. Okay, so I've got a few different kinds of brushes here, and I just want to talk about some of the features and some of the problems that you might get with them. So I've got two Hake brushes here. This one is fairly recent, quite a new one, and you could see, I don't know if you can see on here, just how soft the hairs are, and they're all separating. I'm just looking at the camera. They're all separating, all of the hairs are, and that means that when I'm blending, I'll get a really smooth blend. Whereas if you look at this one, I don't know if you can see, some of the hairs are sort of sticking together. They're stiffer, the hairs are, and I wouldn't be able to use this one for blending. I mean, this one's quite an old one now, and what's happened is it's been left and oil has kind of begun to oxidize on the surface of the hairs, and I just can't get it out. There are products available that if your brush gets in this kind of condition, there's a chance you could recover it. And if you use something called Murphy's oil soap, and you basically let the brush stand overnight in Murphy's oil soap, and then the following day give it a really thorough clean, it can sort of reconstitute this, and it'll break down any of the oil that's sticking in the hairs, okay? But you could see the difference. This is what we want. We want it really, really smooth and soft, as opposed to this where it's the hairs are sticking together, okay? Sorry for me turning around. I'm trying to watch what's going on the monitor while I'm doing this. So this is a synthetic flat brush, and this is quite an old one, believe it or not. But I've managed to keep this in good condition, and the end is slightly splayed, but it's still holding its shape reasonably well. What you will find with these synthetic brushes is no matter how well you clean it, the hairs do get stained. These are the Rosemary Long Flat, Rosemary & Co. Long Flat, and the hairs get stained no matter how well you clean it. And I've tried to get these back to the pure white, but I'm not able to. Doesn't affect the way the brush works in any way, shape or form. The key thing with any kind of brush cleaning is to not get any paint in the ferrule down here where the hairs are actually attached. The minute that the paint starts to go in there and dries, as soon as that's started to dry in there and you haven't cleaned it out, that forces the hairs apart. So you could see, I'm going to show you one here. This is a really old brush. I don't know if you can see that. You see how the hairs have started to splay apart. I mean, this must be 5 years old now, but it's not been looked after that well. But there's no way now I can get those hairs to go back to that flat shape. That should have actually been, this one that I've just showed you is a Coma brush. Is it getting in focus? No. It should be like this, okay? So this is a Coma brush, and you can see that it's like got a really chiseled edge on it. And to keep that, you've got to make sure that no paint settles in the ferrule there. So you've got to really get that out, okay? One thing that you might notice is this is a hog bristle. And hog bristles, you can tend to keep the hairs clean. The problem with hog bristles is they don't retain the shape very well anyway. Over time, you'll get the odd hair that kind of pokes out, and they begin to get a little bit scruffy in time. But they have their own sort of charm, and they create their own unique mark, okay? So that's a few different types of brushes. I'm now going to talk about the process that I go through when I'm cleaning them. Okay, so I've got 3 brushes here, all with paint on. This is my Ivory Long Flat, and the great thing about these, and the reason I like them, is you can paint, you get plenty of paint on the brush, and it doesn't go anywhere near this ferrule if you're painting with it, okay? Same with these. This is a softer brush, a synthetic, but even, you know, I've got loads of paint on there, and it's still not right up to that ferrule. So I try to be careful about that when I'm painting. Obviously, sometimes if you use particularly shorter brushes, this is a real short, stubby hog hair bristle, you know, and I've put paint on here, and it's right up to the end of the brush. So first thing is to wipe that off, okay, using a paper towel. So you'll see in the videos I get through unbelievable amounts of paper towels when I'm painting. So get as much of the paint off with the paper towel as you can, and then take some solvent. Okay, so I just swill it around in there. I try not to scrub on the bottom of the container, and then I'll sort of roll it off on there and wipe as much of the excess paint off as I can. Okay, squeezing on the hairs of the brush until that's running almost clear. Okay, so you can see there, that's almost clear. It's still staining a little bit, but most of the paint is off. So I'll do the same with the other one. So swirl it around in there. You need to dip the brush in so it's right down plunged into the water, and then wipe that off on the paper towel, all of the excess as much as possible. Again, just being careful of, if I was to scrub this into the paper, you're risking damaging the hairs. So what I will do, I will pinch the hairs between my fingers using the paper towel, and I will wipe that off. I don't know if you can see doing that. So get the paper towel, fold it over, and kind of squeeze a little bit and pull the brush away. Lay it on, open the hairs out, and then pull it away. Okay, and you'll see, I mean, as I said before, these brushes do stain, but I've got most of the paint out of there already, and I will spend quite a bit of time on this. I mean, the brushes are really important, and keeping this really flat edge is important. So that's most of the paint out of there. So for the next bit, I'm going to take the brushes inside, and I've got this, and now don't judge me. I've got my little Tupperware container here, and inside you can see, so inside you can see that horrible mess in there. That's just old bars of soap that I've just stuffed into the box and compressed down. And what I do next is I take the brushes inside and rinse them off and use the soap to clean the hairs of the brush. Okay, so I'll show you that bit now. So get some warm water. This is warm water, and I've got my little box with the soap in, and I'll just work the hairs, and you can see already some of that staining is beginning to come out of the brush. So I'll work the soap into the brush hairs. I'm not putting too much pressure on them here. Okay, rinse that off, and you can see the colour leaving the hairs. Okay, two different types of soap in here, doesn't really matter, it's just cheap soap. Okay, once I've done that for a while, I'll then take my hand and I'll work the bristles into the palm of my hands and sort of splay those brush hairs out and begin to work the fibres. So I'll splay those hairs out like this, get right down to the bottom of the brush where the hairs are connected to the actual shaft of the brush. And you can see how clean you can get that. Okay, so I'll do the next one. Again, a little bit of soap and water. Just work the brush into the soap, and you'll see the staining coming out. So the final thing I want to talk about is just how you can get that nice flat end to these flat brushes. Once you've done all the cleaning and the brush is clean, everything's washed out, take a piece of cardboard and just fold it over the top of the brush, and then you just need some of these little clips, like little tiny bulldog clips, or a peg even, and I just peg that on the end of there, and that will help the brush to retain its original shape. Okay, so that's how I go about cleaning the brushes. If you've got brushes that are old and are the hairs are stiffening up on them, and you want to kind of get them soft again so that they're usable, as I said earlier, get some Murphy's oil soap, and you basically, if you can get a shallow container, something like a takeaway container, put some of this oil soap in the bottom, work it into the hairs on the brush, leave the brush settled in there. You don't want it sat so that the hairs are being bent like this. You leave it in the tray with the oil soap just covering the bristles, and then 24 hours later, if you take it out and you need to give it a thorough clean, going through the process that I've just been through, and you'll find that the hairs are much softer than they were before. It will break up that oil that's settled on the fibres. Okay, so that's the process I go through for cleaning the brushes. I hope you found that useful, and thanks for watching.